Hey guys, welcome back to the 850R. It's been quite a journey with this thing this year. A lot of changes, a lot of improvements, a lot of updates. I will say it's getting very, very close to becoming my perfect 850R. The manual transmission was the big change between this and my 96, and it's just been a journey since then. Let's give you an update on what I've done recently. First thing you'll notice, new wheels and tires. This is going to be kind of a daily driver-friendly setup. Michelin Cross Climate Plus tires, 205 55 16s, slightly larger, and BBS SR wheels, 16x7s, 45mm offset, about 20 pounds a piece, a little bit lighter, very comfortable to ride on. I've only driven about 50 miles on these tires. So far they feel pretty good. Haven't pushed them yet though. And the big thing is, done some performance modifications. So Porterfield R4S pads all the way around. I did extend the IPD exhaust tip here just a hair, and it seems to have reduced the drone slightly. Big thing though, underbody bracing. I've been wanting to do this to my Volvo 850s for years, and I've been putting it off because it's about $800, $700 for the whole kit, for everything, for the rear upper brace, rear lower, the side braces, the front lower brace. It's a pretty extensive chassis bracing system, and it's very subtle, but it makes this car feel like a modern vehicle. It feels so firm. It actually rides a little bit better, but the chassis is it's smoothed out so well. It feels so good. So let's go for a drive. Let's test this a little bit. I'm really liking the way this thing looks now. I do still have the 17-inch Volans wheels. Those are actually getting refinished right now, and I'm going to be putting some performance summer tires on those, and pretty excited to see what they look like and how they turn out. Been incredibly happy with Aaron's tune from Vast Tuning. Completely eliminated the rev hang. The M4.4 ECU runs awesome. You may have heard at the beginning of this video, not as many cranks on startup because the crankshaft position sensor remembers the location from the previous time you drove the car. It's a joy to drive. It's not as fast, it's a little bit slower, but God, it's good. If I want some more power, I can always go in and do a custom tune on this ECU. The steering, this chassis, just feels so nice, so refined. There's not as many dash rattles, not as many rattles throughout the interior. I decided to do the full bracing kit. I didn't just piecemeal it here and there. I did the full Monty, and I think this kit works the best all together as one cohesive setup. This chassis is going to be a lot of fun to take through the corners. I've kind of been prepping this car to do a light track day in it. I think any future modifications I do this will kind of be on the braking front and the cooling front. see how it holds up on track. Right now, though, this is my perfect daily 850R. I'm not going to be dailying this. I'm holding on to the Lexus still for now, but this is so comfortable, especially on the 16s. I cannot express how much of a difference going from 17s down to 16s makes on these cars. I think that, combined with the chassis stiffening, has really improved ride quality, allows the suspension to work and do its job. I did the comprehensive suspension kit from FCP Euro on this, with the Bilstein touring dampers, stock springs. I wanted the ground clearance, I wanted the ride height, and I've been really, really happy with that setup. It's great. I spent a lot of time under this car this week, and I just can't believe how clean it is. It's amazing how well a car can hold up if you take good care of it and if it's had good previous ownership. And I'm continually impressed by how nice this 850R is in particular. My last 96 was clean, but it had some just random little creaks here and there. It had some bits falling off on the interior where people had taken stuff off, not put it back on properly. I look at this car, and it looks like it hasn't been messed with. It hasn't been, no one's really done much to it. All the bolts have the OEM rust proofing on it. You can tell nothing underneath has been taken apart or touched, besides, of course, all the suspension stuff that I just had refreshed. But it's pretty amazing to see. This is definitely a survivor car, and for me, this is a keeper. I am not getting rid of this anytime soon, especially after these recent modifications that I've done. The tune was kind of the first thing that said, all right, I'm keeping this. This is exactly how I wanted this to drive. And all these chassis modifications since then have made this a really, really balanced overall package. So, just saying it, I'm not selling this thing. This is here to stay. I was thinking about getting a 2020 Civic Type R. There is a 2020 Civic Type R at the dealership. It's bright red. It's perfect spec. Not interested. Don't want it anymore. I got this 850R. To me, this is way better. This is driving this thing is almost kind of an emotional experience now, because I have wanted this experience behind the wheel of a Volvo 850 for so long. I used to have dreams about driving my old NA 850, and that thing was it was a great car. And this outdoes it. And I might be able to get away without having a front diff for a while too. That is an engine out procedure. It's a pretty extensive job, and with the stock tune, the reduced power compared to the tune from IPD that was on this before, might not have to worry about it. I want the 5-cylinder sound, and I honestly could care less about the power and the speed. If anything, the slower it is, the more I can ring it out without speeding on public roads. Even the IPD exhaust is growing on me. It did quiet down a little bit with the retune, with the stock ECU from the European manual 850Rs. And then extending that exhaust tip definitely helped a little bit. Oh, that's some cornering right there. Again, we're not getting close to the limits in this, but oh man, I can feel the difference. It's a very neutral setup now. It's very predictable. It's very just put together. I like that. It feels like a modern car. It feels like you have a lot less body motion, because to be honest, the 850, this platform, it was a little floppy. You could definitely feel a lot of flex going over, coming out of a driveway or going around a corner at speed. But that's no longer the case. This thing feels perfect. It feels really good. So, you know, it's not a enormous difference. If you're looking to fine tune the ride and handling of your P80 chassis, then this is a really good upgrade. The Ultra Racing chassis braces are great, but it's not groundbreaking. For me, this is exactly what I wanted it to do. I wanted it to kind of improve ride quality, improve corner limit handling, but not make the car overly stiff. And I'm very curious to get my 17-inch wheels back and some new tires, some fresh, sticky summer rubber, and see how this thing really handles. Because it's amazing what these cars will do around the corners if you have them set up properly. We still have everything on soft. The IPD front sway bar is still on soft. I don't even have HDN links on there yet. I did buy some HDN links the other day. I haven't put them on yet, but that's probably next. And I'm going to try putting this on stiff once I get the summer tires. Good stuff, you guys. This is so exciting. I am over the moon with where this car is right now. The thing I love about these Volvos is there's still a huge aftermarket for them. There's so many things you can do to improve them. And there's so many people out there tuning and building and boosting these things, doing all-wheel drive swaps. Crazy stuff. 6, 7, 800 horsepower builds to their 850Rs, and to me that's pretty unbelievable. It's pretty amazing. But my goal with this car initially was to take it back to its truest stock form and give it modern levels of cornering, braking, and make this manual transmission work seamlessly the way it should, and the Tune did that. Also, some of you guys wanted a POV night drive in this, and figured it was about time to take you out. The thing I love about this car is it's just modern enough. It's very safe. It has a lot of creature comforts. The stereo's not bad, but it's just modern enough to feel newer, but it still has that character and that personality of an older car. You still get that turbo lag. You still get that 5-cylinder sound. You have to kind of be ginger with the gear shifts. You can't rush it. The steering is at just tons of feel. Of course, a hydraulic rack. Nothing electronic here. There's no traction control. Not that you need it now, but yeah, it just gives me that feeling of driving a classic car. And of course, for me, this was my first car I've ever owned. Was an 850, so it has a little bit more of a meaning to me in that sense. You never forget your first. There's always a special bond there between you and your first car, no matter how great or how shitty it was. And yeah, maybe this is just me reliving my teenage years, but this is also just a dream car come true. So whatever your dream car is, I encourage you to seek it out someday and see if meeting your heroes is worth it. When I first got this, I liked it, but I wasn't entirely sure it was worth it. But I decided to stick with it, and I'm so glad I did, because this thing is just phenomenal. Now, I am so impressed at how well it drives. Okay, that's enough of me raving about the 850R. It's phenomenal. We know it. We love it. I think I'm just going to take it for a little blast here, and we'll listen to this 5-cylinder sing. these BBS SR wheels too. Kind of went out on a whim on these and decided to go for it. At first I wasn't too sure that they'd look okay, but I did. I did pick up a set of 15mm spacers for the rear. Guys, I gotta have good stance. I can't have those inboard rear wheels. I did 10mm on my last 850 with kind of the same setup, and it looked pretty good, but I think I could have gone a little bit more, and the extra 5mm width on this I think it'll look pretty good. So yeah, it's gonna affect handling. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of spacers. I did get the 15mm longer extended lug bolts, but yeah, we'll rock that, and I think it'll look even better with this setup. And that should translate over to the 17s pretty nicely too. Say this car is very well balanced now, and that's what I achieve with all of my vehicles, is balance. Slow and balanced, that's my goal. But the brakes are always a weak point on 850s. They just don't have enough clamping force and bite to slow down the car for how fast it is, especially the turbos, and the 850Rs even more so. So I'm really glad I have this setup. I have the 302mm setup with the Zimmermann front rotors, blank rotors, no slots or drilled. Porterfield R4S pads, just one of my favorite dual duty street and track pads. They hold up to a lot of heat. They don't create a ton of dust. They have great bite in the rain and the cold and all conditions. It's a really, really uncompromised pad, and one of my favorites to run on all of my vehicles. Brakes, chassis, suspension, that's what it's all about. Someday we'll add some power, but I don't know, man. Unless if something breaks and I need a new turbo, or I don't really feel like adding a ton of power to this thing because, well, to be perfectly honest, the tune I had on this before that was actually kind of meant for an automatic car, that was a little too fast for me. I actually sold that to a subscriber, and he put it on his automatic 850R wagon, and it was perfect. It ran perfectly for him. So just goes to show, if you want a manual tune, go to Aaron at Vast. He will hook you up, and the M4.4 ECU makes a lot of improvements in this car. Not really sure what else I want to do next. I think a shakedown at the track might be in order. Nothing crazy, just some fun laps, and got to get some summer tires on here. Got to get some sticky rubber. These Cross Climate Pluses ride amazing. They are very quiet so far with 30 miles on them. They seem to handle quite well. They're very comfortable, and that's exactly what I was going for. So I do like to drive my cars all year round. I'm not going to be taking this through the salt and the snow, but honestly, 95% of this last winter, we didn't have any snow on the ground. So it's nice because I can kind of drive stuff all year round. But if I do run into a little bit of slippery snow, I will have some tires that can handle it. And just in lower temperatures, these tires will do quite well. From the side, they almost look like a winter tire, but then you look at the tread, and it's kind of this performance, directional tread. It's pretty interesting. So very curious to see how these tires do. They are top rated in their category. Tire Rack recommended them very highly, and very curious to see how they do in the long term. You know what? Let's end this video and park next to this Civic Type R. What I bought and kept, what I wanted and didn't buy. Almost just to say, haha. This new Type R does look awesome though. It's such a cool car. really pegged myself for someone who likes red cars, but really digging this. So, new 2020 Type R. It's a beauty. I want one, but I'm not going to get one. Not yet, at least. Probably would go red or black, to be honest. The new blue is pretty enticing too, but I'd have to see it. Okay guys, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. We will see you in the next video. Take it easy.